Let's start at the beginning, and I don't mean way back to 1977 when Star Wars first came out, but rather back to October of 2012 when Disney purchased Lucasfilm and thus ushered in a new age for Star Wars. It's funny, but I wonder if years from now it won't be the prequels and original trilogy that divide some Star Wars fans, but rather the pre and post Disney eras. Anyway, in the days that followed that announcement, I got asked I don't even know how many times by people who knew that I loved Star Wars, do you think these new movies will be about Luke's kids? Now, usually I'd just say, well, more than likely, or something along those lines, because I did think there was a really good chance Luke would have a child, and this new trilogy would be about him or her. And then I'd also go on to say that I guarantee we will see a child, at least one of them, of Han and Leia. Now, as time went by and we got closer and closer to The Force Awakens and saw more and more images and trailers and learned more information about the characters, the question changed to, will Rey be the daughter of Han and Leia or of Luke? I'm not so sure many people considered the possibility that it might not be either one of them until after the movie actually came out and suddenly every known character in the Star Wars universe became a suspect to be her parents. And therein lies my problem with us finding out in Episode 8 that Rey is the daughter of Luke. It's not that I dislike the idea, I'm actually fine with it. It's the way they've gone about it. It's the fact that they're trying to make a mystery out of what has been the most obvious answer since the day they announced they're making this movie. And then in the movie itself, they seem to drop every hint in the world that she's Luke's daughter. Let's quickly review. She's found on a desert planet, seems to be a natural pilot, is clearly strong with the Force, is apparently known by our other main character, who is a confirmed Skywalker, has a lightsaber that once belonged to Anakin Skywalker call out to her and show her a vision of the Skywalker legacy, and then later that lightsaber goes to her over that confirmed Skywalker I mentioned a moment ago, which is of course Kylo Ren. Okay, clearly she's Luke's daughter, right? And here we are at the end of the movie, and she goes up to Luke, hands him the lightsaber, and we all know what he's about to say, that he's going to confirm what we've all been suspecting throughout the whole movie, that she's his daughter, and yet he says nothing and the credits roll. To me, the fact that Luke says nothing at the end of Episode 7 says one of a few things. Rey is not his daughter, and he has no idea who she is. He doesn't know for one reason or another that she is his daughter. He knows she's his daughter, but doesn't plan on telling her. Because if Luke knows she's his daughter and plans on telling her, why not just show that at the end of Episode 7 instead of making us wait 2 years to see it? And you might think I sound impatient here, but why make a cliffhanger out of the most obvious answer? One we've literally been guessing at for years now. And sure, Episode 8 could be about Luke discovering Rey as his daughter, and that's why they left it hanging the way they did. But what if we end up getting an Empire Strikes Back, I am your father moment in reverse, and one that turns out to be wrong? What do I mean by that? Well, we've already seen that Rey had a vision the first time she touched Anakin's saber, a vision more or less about the Skywalker family. So what if, with training from Luke, she continues to have these visions about the Skywalker family, mainly about Luke and Ben, and these visions become less broad and more personal, intimate memories from these two in particular? What if in these visions Rey learns that Luke did indeed have a daughter, but he and whoever the mother are agree that they don't want her trained as a Jedi and instead give her to Han and Leia to be raised? We even get glimpses in these visions of Luke's daughter and Ben together, and it's clear Ben does not like the attention she gets from his parents. Oh, and a quick note here. If we do hear the name of Luke's daughter in the vision, it won't be Rey. Keep in mind that Rey isn't likely even her real name, but rather one she took off that X-Wing helmet we see her with in the movie. At some point, Rey will then have a vision of some type of funeral, one where the only Skywalker absent is Luke's daughter, and the only one attending who doesn't look sad is Ben. When the funeral is over, Han and Leia have a brief talk with Luke, telling him how sorry they are and seemingly apologizing for their son and the horrible accident he was a part of. They then reluctantly ask Luke to take and train Ben to get rid of the Vader that haunts him. The vision then continues with Leia explaining to Ben that he's going to go with his uncle and become a Jedi, but Ben argues he doesn't want to go, that Snoke was the one responsible for what happened to Luke's daughter. Leia will say, for the last time, there is no Snoke, that it's something else that troubles you, but Luke will help you get rid of it and make you better. And yes, we know that Leia has sensed the shadow over her son since he was born, that's seen in the Aftermath books, but I'm going to assume that she likely thinks it's something to do with Vader, and not something else, and only learns that Snoke is real sometime later. This is the reason why she seems to know who Snoke is in The Force Awakens, because her son used to talk about him all the time, like some sort of shadow figure that spoke to him and told him to do things. Now, of course, Rey will start to put the pieces together and guess that she is somehow actually Luke's daughter, and that she didn't really die in whatever this accident is. Towards the end of the movie, she will even tell Luke that, "I am your daughter," but Luke will of course say that's impossible. Rey will tell him about all the visions she's had and keep insisting she must be, that the Force has led her back to her father, but Luke will keep saying it's impossible. When Rey refuses to let it go, Luke will be forced to tell her the truth, that he knows exactly who she is and it isn't his daughter, that he knew who she was the moment she set foot on the island, and whatever this truth is that he tells her, it will start to tear the two apart. Now, do I really think this is how it could all play out? Actually, yeah, I do, because I personally don't see a reason why to give us so many clues pointing to the most obvious answer all along, that Rey is Luke's daughter, and then make it that answer and draw it out through at least 2 movies, unless there's a lot more to it yet, or a twist we can't even imagine coming. I think it's more intriguing if Rey starts to believe she's Luke's daughter, like a lot of us fans do, but has the rug pulled out from under her along with the rest of us, and instead is something completely different. And the real fun part? What if Luke's daughter really is alive, but it isn't Rey? To me, a scenario like this could go a long way in pleasing so many fans. Rey turns out to be something unique and new to Star Wars, yet Luke still has a daughter, and maybe one we'll meet in Episode 9 who will become a huge player in the story at that point. And most importantly, we get some twists and turns that I don't think a lot of people would have seen coming, and we get to keep guessing how this is all going to end right up to the moment the credits on Episode 9 start to roll. Well, that's all I got for you this time. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below, and let's talk some Star Wars. Also, please subscribe to my channel or check out some of my other videos. If you've already subscribed, then thanks for your continued support. If you want to know when I upload new videos, hit the notification button or just follow me on Twitter. And as always, thanks for watching.